Greetings once again. This is Dr. Jonathan Ellerby with a live recorded 12 at 12. If you're not familiar with the 12 at 12, every weekday I am posting at 12 noon Mountain Time, that would be like Denver, Colorado, a 12-minute video. Now it might be a minute less or a couple minutes more. It usually is a couple minutes more. And it's all about finding ways to help you feel centered, get clear, and stay connected. The heart of this work and these messages is something that I call mindful wellness. So it's not explicitly about spirituality, and it's not explicitly about health and wellness either, and yet that's typically what people are looking for more of when they come to the 12 at 12. The 12 at 12 is actually based on something that I'm now beginning to understand better as a new paradigm for how we think about life itself. When we talk about paradigms or worldviews, then ultimately what we're talking about is the way we think about everything, the context in which we do everything. A paradigm is much bigger than spirituality, although spirituality shapes your paradigm. Your assumptions about health and wellness in your body are also influenced by your paradigm, or changes in your health and healing will affect your paradigm. Paradigm is basically the way you think the world works. It's your worldview. There's essentially nothing outside your paradigm except the possibility that there might be another paradigm. Now, some of you have seen my other videos, and we talked a lot about the evolution of consciousness. We've talked about the evolution of human culture and civilization and ideas of well-being, particularly because we are in a truly poignant, powerful, and precarious moment in human history as we face massive opportunities for change in fields from the environment, economics, worldwide health strategies, and obviously how we treat each other, race relations, gender relations, intercultural relationships. As far as I can tell, the only way forward in a sustainable path in which we all have a chance to survive on this planet is through the paradigm of oneness. Now, oneness is often associated with spiritual tradition because that's what great mystics and masters have directly experienced through altered states and spiritual states and visions throughout time. But oneness is also the foundation of all modern, cutting-edge, tried and tested hard sciences. In the sciences, we don't use the word oneness, we use the word systems. We talk about systems thinking, systems analysis, systems theory, the planet as a whole, the body as a whole, the family unit as a whole. But if we expand and embrace the oneness paradigm in our relationship to life itself, then that means we see existence as a whole. And that means that no matter what area of life we are working on right now, no matter what we're trying to understand, improve, heal, or contribute to in the world, a oneness model, a oneness view is probably going to be the only one that will get us the optimal results for the longest possible period of time. Now, how can I say that? That's a pretty big statement to make, that oneness is literally the only way forward for the human species. Well, I say it based on a few things. First of all, let's just talk about nature itself. The natural world operates in a oneness model. In a forest, in the grasslands of Africa, in the Arctic caps, the ice caps, wherever you go, every biological system has to thrive as a whole. A forest can't thrive at the expense of the birds. The birds can't thrive at the expense of the bees. They're all interdependent. And each one contributes something different to the whole. And if you're a forest ecologist, you may specialize in understanding any one contributor or element of that system. But there's no way to make sense of what goes on inside a forest at any level unless you look at every level, unless you understand it all as an integrated, interdependent whole. The same would be true of the cosmos. We see television programs where physicists and astrophysicists talk about supernovas and dark matter and black holes. And they all seem like discrete, separate entities. And yet you ask a leading astrophysicist, and you'll find out very quickly it's all influencing each other. The death of a star, the birth of a star, the ellipse of a planet, of a galaxy, all these heavenly bodies are influencing each other's orbits, gravity, and so on. Really, there's no system in the world that you can understand adequately, whether it's your body or the ocean, without making sense of it as a whole system. And that means we have to take this whole oneness system and expand its application as far out as we can. It's not just going to solve race relations. It's not just going to solve your relationship with your partner. It's got to move to our very concept of life itself. Existence is an integrated whole. And that means all your thoughts, all your emotions, all your choices are absolutely interdependent on and with the thoughts, emotions, and choices of everyone else on this planet. Now, as with any system, the oneness system, of course, understands that the person sitting beside you is probably going to be influenced most by your choices, and someone on the other side of the planet who doesn't even know you exist will be influenced the least. But as science develops greater and greater tools of analysis and perception, meaning that we are able to look at life and our interconnections at subtler and subtler levels, we discover that we are more and more connected than we ever thought. And much of this is news to most people, even though this oneness thinking has been a part of science for decades now. In fact, physics is built on the principle of systems thinking, and Albert Einstein himself died with this vision of systems thinking at the heart of his work. To think as a system is to say that whatever people are protesting about on the street matters not only to them, but to me. It says that the dignity and embrace of the gender, the sexuality, the needs, the oppression, the healing of any one community or any one individual is also my business. And by my business, I don't mean that it's for me to say what they should do or how they should do it. It is to say that the fulfillment of their healing is good for all. The opposite of a oneness system is a divisive system, a dualistic system. And any area of your life right now where you're experiencing tension, stress, frustration, worry, anxiety, you know that in that area of your life, you are still living a dualistic paradigm and not the oneness worldview. Oneness worldview is therefore a way of affirming the nature of reality, and so it transcends religion, spirituality, and science as well. We are ultimately all living within the great oneness. Now, before we wrap up, we've got a couple of minutes left. What are some of the hallmarks of this oneness system so that we can apply those hallmarks in our life? In other words, what works on the macro level must be what we need on the micro level to ensure accountability, authenticity, and awareness. Accountability, authenticity, and awareness. When we harmonize all levels of a system, that all the elements in the system are working with the same rules as the system itself, then things can work together. Things can work efficiently and evolve and adapt and grow in a way that serves the system. And when elements of a system are not working with the same principles, then they are ultimately rejected or extinguished. Well, this is a big topic to cover now in a minute, but let's just look at a few things that I'd like you to consider as we come to a close. The ultimate parameters of our oneness system are infinite and mysterious. Mystery is actually a part of our system that the human mind can't know or control all and everything, and the same is true in your own small life. That when you strive for control and knowledge of everything and everyone, you experience despair and frustration. The next principle that we want to affirm is that in this living system, this oneness system, it seems to be optimized for growth and evolution, movement, creation, destruction, and recreation are implicit qualities. In other words, it doesn't stay the same. The system itself may be constant. The rules within the system may be constant, but the expression of the system is ever changing, and we can consider that in our own lives. Where are we holding on to what's been? Where are we resisting what's coming? Can we open our minds and our hearts to a dynamic, creative, mysterious embrace of life? So, we have two principles here already. And then finally, let's just throw in one more, because I can see we're running out of time as I look at the clock. The last principle that we must consider if we are going to move into a fully integrated oneness system or oneness paradigm is to understand, and this is very much related to the first two principles, that no one element within the system can control all the other elements. And if it is to have a successful relationship with those elements, then it must, for lack of a better word, it must listen to the system and all the elements that it shares space and connection with within. In other words, there is an innate intelligence, an innate design, an innate wisdom, and what I would even call love built into the system. It lives in every element, it lives at every level, and it is the basic nature of the system itself. It is learning, it is wise, it is loving. But the only way to access those qualities at the elemental level is to pay attention, is to surrender your drive to judge and control, and more than anything, just to listen. Let the great system that is life, that is existence, that is God, whatever you call it, this infinitely creative and powerful system, let it live through you. Don't make your decisions, discover your decisions. Don't make things happen. Let things happen through you. To embrace the living oneness system in every area of your life is a radical new paradigm for most of us. Although if you're watching this, I'm certain you already feel it and believe it in some areas of your life. Well, that's it for today. We've already run out of time and gone a little bit over. I'm grateful that you were here. This was live recorded. Sorry it wasn't live. I hope you enjoy it, and please remember to subscribe to my YouTube page. You don't get sent any junk mail, but by expanding my followers, it does help me improve the quality of the tools and the cameras that are available to me for these videos. So subscribe today. Send me questions through my website if you like. And don't forget, I'm still offering a totally free, no strings attached copy of my new book, Spiritual Experience, on my website. And you just go to the homepage and click download that book, and you got it. So thank you again for being with me today. I love you all, and I'll see you soon.